Coach, Ohio State at Penn State. I think maybe one of the biggest storylines is Ohio State losing 2 offensive linemen going into this game. When that happens during the season, how do you deal with it?
You know, I want to spend a second. This is really important conversation. So years ago, it felt like an abundance of linemen. It was really hard to go find those skilled players, and I think just the evolution of all these young players working on their skill development, I think there's an abundance of skilled players now. You can find receivers, corners, everywhere. You know, it's hard to recruit. The hardest position to recruit, at least the last 10 years of my career and now, offensive linemen.
Right.
Offensive linemen are the hardest players to find. They're the hardest players to evaluate because when you recruit a player out of high school, a lot of times he's 260 pounds, you're trying to visualize and seeing what this player looks like at 325 pounds. To play at the big schools, you're 325 minimum sometimes, so how they develop. So the lack of depth at Ohio State is not unique to Ohio State. I'd say every team in the country has a lack of depth in the offensive line. So what do? You physically go in a game with 7 players that can play. You got your center,
right,
but then you got 3 offensive tackles and 3 guards. And if one tackle goes down, the guy moves in.
Right.
Ohio State had 2. Both their left tackles went down. You don't necessarily have 4 tackles. Most teams do not. So you're going to take your guard. That's exactly what Ohio State did at the end of the Nebraska game. They put their left guard, Donovan Jackson, they put him out at left tackle, and they stick in another guard. It starts to get very, very thin from that point forward.
I'd add this to it. Playing offensive guard and offensive tackle, very much different positions.
Yeah.
Not even close, other than you're an offensive lineman.
Right, and you're playing in a confined space as a guard, then all of a sudden you look out here, and especially facing some of the athletes who face out wide. So I want to focus on the potential mismatches that could take place. I want to kind of focus on the pass game because this is one of Penn State's strengths. They got a very good D-line.
Right.
The first thing you do is take the stressors off the offensive line. You know how you do that? You break contain, or sprint out, this is called. You can see the offensive line, very easy jobs on this one. It's the stressors on the tight end here and the tailback.
Right.
So this is 4th down and 1, 4th down and 2 last week. Ohio State's very good at it. Will Howard, this is one of his strengths, throwing on the run. I anticipate seeing a lot of this. The second way, Jerry, is just get the ball out fast. And how do you get the ball fast? Screens are a quick game. And I just pulled this out last week. This is against Nebraska. A potential mismatch. Just don't have the offensive line involved. Offensive line here sliding left, no big deal.
Right.
The quarterback catches the ball is out in 1.2 seconds. There's no stressors here. And you know what? Ohio State, I think, has an advantage in skill against Penn State. Penn State's good back there, but Ohio State's somewhat elite. Get the ball out in the athlete's hands as fast as possible. How do you take care or a potential mismatch? Number 1, break contain.
Right.
Number 2, get the ball out fast.
All right, Coach, but at some point, you're going to have to pocket pass.
Right, and I would minimize it. You know, the third down packages, you're going to have to do it, but I would not make that a big part of this game because pass protection, one-on-one pass pro, I equate it to playing corner. I think it's the most difficult thing to do on a football field. So let's focus on the potential mismatch. So right here, you got Zen Michalski playing left tackle. He might be, I don't know the extent of injury. It didn't look good. I was there, watched it. He might be out. So you're going to be down to your 3rd left tackle. They have Abdul Carter, a potential high draft pick in the NFL. What do? So there's 2 choices. In pass protection, and this is a great look, you have a man side and a zone side. That's very constant. If you have a potential mismatch, which I think you do against Penn State, you always have to help the guy that's a mismatch. How do you do it? Right. There's 2 ways. There's only 2 ways. One is you help him with the guard. The other one, you help him with the tailback. In this look right here, they're going to slide to the potential mismatch. That means he's only responsible for the C gap, which is not that difficult. If he goes inside, who's helping him?
Guard.
The guard.
Right.
So here, let's take a look. So they're sliding to him.
Right.
So what's Donovan Jackson do? And I love this set of Michalski here. What's that?
This happens exactly what you said. The guard helps. Yeah.
And so the tackle knows he doesn't have a man-to-man.
Right.
He's got the C gap.
Right.
So this is a great look for the viewer. This is one way to help a potential mismatch. You get 4 hands on the defender.
All right, Coach, that's fine. That's the zone side. I get it. But now let's go to the man side, which is the most difficult side.
Yeah, this is hard stuff now. So you're going to take your tailback again, and I would imagine Ohio State's doing this. No chance do you leave that potential mismatch by himself. How do you help him? The tailback. So in this picture right here, Zen Michalski here, he's got the defensive end for Nebraska by himself. Right. One of the most difficult things to do. That means he's got him on a 2-way go. Never let that happen. This is called a chip. And people have heard of that before, but I want to diagram it. So The chip means that he's going to take away any outside rush. The offensive tackle doesn't need to overset. That's actually a perfect set. He's really responsible if the guy goes inside.
Right.
If he goes outside, Jerry, the tailback's going to take a shoulder and set the block for him. So the tailback does a great job here. He secures that the defensive end is going to go inside. The offensive tackle blocks him, and then he obviously runs a pass route and scores the go-ahead touch, the game-winning touchdown, actually.
All right, Coach. How about one more thing? How about helping your offensive line with the cadence?
Absolutely. Here's the problem. 110,000 people in State College at Beaver Stadium. There's no cadence.
There's no cadence.
You know my feelings about that stadium. Most difficult place to play.